I go in churches, but I extra avoid the services. Am I a bad person? I go in temples of other religions. Is that wrong? But when I'm joining services in the church, I'm often not singing, but only moving my lips as I would sing, or sometimes not even that. What's wrong with me? Or is there even some good aspect which I can recommend? Why I'm saying these things? The point is that it's not about religious tourism or spiritual journeys in the outer world, traveling, visiting temples, churches, whatever. What I do instead is a contemplative thing. I go in religious places to contemplate, and I now want to share it in the video to recommend that. Mostly I go beyond the official service times. It's up to the religion, to the country, to the culture. The official state religion, which is the biggest one, has always their temples, their churches open from like 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 in the evening or something. But service times are rare. So most of the time, God's houses are open without service. Service just 1, 2, 3 times each day for about 1 hour, 2 hours or less. All the rest of the time, even I choose sometimes extra to go. I watch their schedule when there are service times. I extra avoid them sometimes, but it can also happen I join the service by accident, but I sit in the last row trying to contemplate on my own, not singing with them, not taking actively part, but instead even I sing the same songs at the same time, but more inside, like maybe an introvert would do. It's like people are singing and I try to feel, to transcend the music, the live, it's live music, so you don't have to go to an extra concert when religious people are singing. It's okay. But sometimes I have also extra avoided services. When I just joined the service 1 day earlier or so, I don't go to another service in the same church on the next day. That is another point, actually. Here, the point is to reduce entanglement with a certain religious group. But even here, this is not right or wrong or something. You can entangle, of course, and often it is very good to contribute, to do something good. When they are planning things, for example, they are planning like a pilgrimage, you can take part, or they just plan something that people come together eating cake or bread. Not in the service, not in the mass, but in context of just coming together, talking about anything, and everyone can talk, and not about praying. Even that is okay. But these things every religious person does. And there's a difference in spiritual people, in normal churchgoers who only go to the church on the surface, only bring their body once a week to the church, and they are not really listening the depths and not knowing the depths of the religion and not feeling God, the stillness behind all that. Some are even seeking only comfort in the social level. Some are even after kind of a psychotherapy, only having these people around, to not feeling alone. But to really go in contemplation and to really come closer to God face to face, one has to say goodbye to the social level. There is a big difference. Social, again, the next point is here where it sounds as if I would blame something normal, religious thing. What social you can define in many ways. I should make an extra video about the word social because many people think something different about social. For some, it's kind of virtuous, being good with others, but for others, social means only a dependence from others, only being needy, But this is one-sided. And there are much more definitions. That were only 2 examples. Let's focus that's kind of an opposite from being contemplative, where you first have to be alone. Why alone? Most people on this world can't even bear to be alone. But one has to learn it if one really wants to develop, really wants to come one's own self and at least to God. The only way is to be able to let go of the relationships, not forever, only for the prayer, only for meeting God, really. And here is the main point, which actually Jesus mentioned it 2000 years ago. And this is, one day we will not need churches anymore. We will not need this holy mountain where he was sitting often. He said prayer will be possible everywhere. Maybe he was already focusing to the point that God is omnipresent, as all the religions say, but at that time people didn't grasp, and even nowadays not all people grasp, that God is everywhere at the same time. So actually, you don't have to go to certain places. And that's why maybe many places became only a social meeting. But when it's only a social meeting, then people can also meet anywhere else. Then no religion is needed, actually. Then they can go in gaming, go to LAN parties, meet other gamers, play against each other. When it's only a meeting with nice people, you can have many things. Religion is something deeper. It's a deeper aspect of life, and this is the spirituality. And when this is missing, then the service is not good, actually. But still, even I, from time to time, visit service. Because always there are other people which are also of spirituality. It's not that all people are like dumb sheep only going there and not knowing what they're actually doing there, and only they think about, oh my God, I must go on Sunday. And they feel forced to go there because it's kind of group or social pressure to go there for some, even still nowadays. But among all these people, you can also find spiritual people, maybe, which may be interesting, which may be of your same interest. That's also one aspect. But for me personally, it's better to go alone and just try to feel the presence in the church, in the temple of any religion. Try to feel that God is there. And why still I go to certain places, although I said with Jesus that prayer is possible everywhere. Church is kind of a protected place. It's different. Beyond the church, one has too much distraction. Even if I abolished phone and I only check emails and WhatsApp every few days, not every day, not even every second day, often every third, fourth day or less. So even a person who is not distracted from these modern things still is distracted, paradoxically. Just look on the streets, it's loud, it's crowdy, it's colorful, many cars are there, many shops, and even if we are on the spiritual path, not interested in these things, we have still dumb soul parts in us, which are childish, which are needy, which are craving after, even if we are suppressed craving after these material things, still there are some parts in us which try to distract whenever they see something. And the more you reduce these attachments and all these things, you will be aware that these things, these lower soul parts, also called with several philosophies, lower soul parts will still try to distract with whatever is there. When you abolish the phone, you will see that your lower soul parts will, in any shop, suddenly feel so overwhelmed from all the colors and from all the diversity. And that's why I say distraction automatically happens to the psyche in this outside world, which becomes more and more colorful and which becomes more and more distraction, because each and every day people found more things and people develop more on the material level, and they more things will stand in the shops. And that's why distraction is always growing. And the church always tries to keep it straight, oldish. For over-distracted people, a church always appears boring. I was in my life once of the opposite, distracted, PlayStation addicted, no names, gaming console addicted. I couldn't leave it. And whenever someone brought me to a church, I was feeling bored. But if distraction is not there, a church appears powerful. And of course, the power is there. And that's why I go there. From earlier times, churches and temples and other places are known as power places. It's kind of a secret knowledge, not that secret, but only spiritual people know. You can find a bit on the internet about that. As well as people in earlier times had abilities to find water sources. They had really guys who could find water sources by intuition. As well, there were also people who could find power places. That means before the church or the temple was built at that place, they tried to figure out a good place for that, but not with thinking and not with considering and architecture and these things. That was extra. But first they were figuring out or having such guy who was going around feeling where is more spiritual power. And there they built a church. There are even places without churches or buildings. You can go, for example, in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh. There is a flag place. When Dalai Lama came to Dharamshala, he was praying at that place. And there is a whole story around why he has chosen Dharamshala and so on. But we will go now in detail in these places. And the place is one of such a place where spiritual power. And still people go there each and every day, tourists, monks, everyone who's about going to a place to sit alone, to pray, or even groups come also there. But mostly it's a place which is not too overcrowded compared to the rest of the tourist places and the spiritual places. Because there's nothing to see. There's no building, there's no temple. The temple is in another village, in the next village there. And so people come there, okay, there are only flags. So they really, the hardcore prayers and hardcore meditators come there because they feel the power. They are not coming there for anything else because there is nothing. And that's the point. And so it works also with churches. But additionally, the power in these places grows. It is said, it's not that I state that, it is said that the power grows by prayer. Whenever people come in a place together, in that place, the power will grow when they are praying there. As well as they also say, when in a certain place was lots of crime, there will be a negative energy more. It's also interesting. But in these positive places, the energy grows. And what also can happen, why was there energy before they built the church? Maybe it was only a place where people have also already prayed before. And there was never crime on something. And additionally, there were also places like this in Dharamshala in earlier times, for example, in ancient Greece. And so like these shrines, they were called shrines. Plato built his academy, which was kind of the very first university for the Western world, on a shrine. Shrine was only also such a place where it's actually nothing but kind of a spiritual power or energy is there. And in such a shrine, he built up this university, this building. Maybe he was also focusing that energy, but I don't know. There is nothing about Plato on that. I just know and have this information. You can find it in any history book that he built the university on a shrine place. What you can take out of this video is I really would recommend to go in religious places of the state religion, whatever it is. Because when you go to different, for example, here in Germany, when you go in a Catholic church, you will have this opportunity that it has open from 8 till 6. But if you go in a Buddhist temple, they only open for the services. They are never keeping that house open all the rest of the time. And the other religions also, which are not the official religion, they only open for certain services. And so they are always closed actually, and you can never go there. And that's why actually the main religion makes sense. Even if you are not in this religion on the paper, you can join this temple. You only have to look after the rules if you have to wear something on the head or so. And if you have that, and it's okay, they will allow you to go there. And at certain times, even you will have the whole house almost alone if you're not going in the afternoon or when tourists come. Try to focus the morning, but after the official service. Between the official service at the very morning and between the afternoon when the tourists come. So maybe in the late morning, you will have success to sit alone there. And why this place? Additionally, you can also go in the nature, what I could recommend and had on this channel always. But in the church, as I said, is more power because people have prayed in the place so often, or in not church, temple also. And that's why you will have more access to the meditation or to the contemplation and more connectedness to your inner temple where you can meet God, because the energy is higher in these religious places. In nature also, because the distraction is lacking. But it's not only the distraction per se, it's also, as I said, the prayer power which is there. So the church is actually better than the nature. But the nature is better than whole civilization with cars and machines and all these. Because even to hear the noise is uncomfortable for our souls, because our souls are age old and our souls are not of the habit to have these new voices which just arise 100, 200 years ago maximum. Our souls only know nature, silence, and little human noise, but not that like nowadays is. So it's unnatural for the soul even. And that's why I say nature is better, but even religious places are much more better. And the last point is not to entangle, if possible. Here, actually, the nature is better, but in the church, you can entangle, as I said, but there is one thing, it can happen that they go you on the nerves. Unfortunately, it can happen if you are too much entangled, that you are only engaged here and there and you forget the contemplation. And that's a pity. And so try to avoid too much entanglement and try to only little entangle, engage somehow, or even leave it. Or you can engage and entangle in one church and you go in another church only for contemplation, so that you separate these things from each other. That is also possible. Hope this video could help. Have a good time. See you soon. Bye.